Where Macabre Ghosts Live, written by A.V. Chu, read by Arashi. He is said to be born from the moon, with eyes like silver formed by the stars, and a smile in crescent shaping. The nightly frost smears pale across his skin, glacial in disdain, yet delicate, and crawls deep into the devious cast of his gaze that knowingly makes them shiver. A boy of mystique, they say, a peculiar, haunting enigma no one can quite decipher. Every twist and bend of his words is a guise that entangles them in an unending paradox. Fiction readily pressed under his tongue and overflowing in the most untimely cases. It makes him vexatious, tactless, abhorrent. Yet, somehow, he allures the detective in ways he himself cannot understand. Shuichi had discovered this curiosity upon their first meeting. The phrase, "I'm a liar, after all," reoccurring throughout the days of the killing game. Death follows them with its putrid stench and unnerving, sickening uncertainty repressed upon the presence of jubilation. Yet, this doesn't seem to bother the Supreme Leader. He seems to be unafraid. It makes him ponder the complexity of Kokichi's emotions whenever he fiddles with life or death, like mere playthings, in that odd fondness no one else has, despite reminding them of the importance of distrust. Almost like he's looking after them. He wonders if he is truly having fun with his lies, pleasure in the despair on their faces, and the animosities that come along with it. He wonders if he truly enjoys being alone. This underlying curiosity is with Shuichi when he, unable to sleep, sees the Supreme Leader lingering in the dim hallways one night, hands placed playfully behind his head as he saunters. He must be thinking deeply. "Kokichi, why are you still awake?" Shuichi asks him from behind, caution in his approach. To this, Kokichi turns around in a lackadaisical manner, a solemn look temporarily on his face, before he swiftly changes it to a grin. "Oh, nothing. I was just looking for someone to kill," he tells him mischievously, drawing a straightened finger close to his lips. "Too bad for you, Mr. Detective. You'll be my next victim." "That's obviously a lie." Shuichi, suspicious as he is, looks at him in doubt. The Supreme Leader laughs, tilting his head in some amusement as he lets his arms fall beside him. "How are you so sure?" "I don't think you can kill me with your bare hands, Kokichi," he points out firmly, lack of weapons within their proximity. Besides, if he does plan to strangle him, then Shuichi can simply defend himself. You never know," he beams, a subtle shrug on his shoulders as he lingers nearer to the walls. Then, silence. The quiet yet eerie air tenses between them when neither of them exits, the moonlight bathing the hallway as it passes through the barred windows. Some part of Shuichi tells himself not to leave, so he stays there, only a few steps away from the leader, lost in thought as he observes the courtyard in view. He silently wonders if he really is going to be the next victim. All of a sudden, he hears a loud thud. "Kokichi!" Shuichi breaks from his trance and sees the boy, now sitting tiredly on the ground. "Ha!" The Supreme Leader chuckles, leaning his body against the wall as he bends his knees closer to him, refusing to stare back at Shuichi's surprised gaze. "Sorry, Shuichi." He's still laughing, though the light-hearted tone in his voice is unmistakably off. "I just need this time to be alone." There's something disturbingly genuine about the way he speaks, so uncharacteristic and unexpected. Shuichi is not able to respond quickly. He's uncertain, not knowing what's gotten into the other so suddenly. But, upon closer inspection, he finally sees it. Kokichi's whole body is trembling, the motion in his hands no longer in his control as he makes a weak attempt to clasp them together. Then he looks at Shuichi, a forced smile on his face. "I'm sorry. I can't stop it." Shuichi is stunned, further in the uncertainty of what to do. Kokichi has always been unafraid, hasn't he? Then why is he shaking? Despite the initial confusion overwhelming the detective, he finds himself instinctively kneeling down beside him. "Hey," the detective says weakly, and, when he sees the tears gathering in Kokichi's eyes, staining the silver that once was, he wraps his arms around him. "Shuichi?" Kokichi reacts with a quiet voice. "It's okay, Kokichi. I'm here," he reassures him. "You're not alone anymore." Then, as though a dam suddenly breaks within him, Kokichi buries his face on the detective's shoulder. At first, it is a quiet, muffled cry, suppressing the fear of giving a bad impression. But as soon as he feels the warmth of the detective surrounding him, Kokichi sobs uncontrollably. The tremble of his body is now greater than before as Shuichi holds him tighter, his sobs growing louder in volume. "I'm so scared!" What they know to be the grandiose, lying supreme leader repeats under shaky breaths, returning Shuichi's embrace as he desperately holds on to him. "I don't want to die!" Tears well up in Shuichi's eyes too, but he doesn't make a sound. He rubs Kokichi's back in comfort, letting him know of his presence. In the end, beneath all his lies and contradictions, Kokichi is only human. Shuichi's not sure why he has yet to act the way he does, but on that night, he realizes that it can be something important later on. "It must have been so terrifying. I'm sorry," Shuichi whispers once the leader's sobs weaken. He shouldn't have left him alone back then. He should have realized that he's afraid as much as they are. The two stayed there for an unknown amount of time, the detective comforting him as he lets all his worries out. Even though no words are spoken, the two felt comfortable with each other, silence soon shrouding the hallways after Kokichi stops. On that cold night, the two have leaned against the wall, the glow of the moon upon them as they rest. Shuichi gently holds Kokichi's hand and doesn't let go until the morning after.